Hey there, this is Andrea with the A.D.S agency here with Jazz Jones, checking to see if you can hear us today. Apparently Facebook wants us to be vertical.
So we could be up close and personal.
Up close and personal. We're very close and personal. So it's very much like, I guess they're following suit with Instagram's IGTV, where they don't want you to be this anymore. Yes. They want you to be like this. Natasha! Yay! There's Nikki. There's my sister. You met Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Natasha Jordan Chambliss. She's so awesome. She's so awesome. She's like art vocal. You would super love her.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. Yes. So I'm here with Jazz Jones. She's with Mad Miracles and is just so phenomenal. She's from LA. There's Jan Hill. Jan Hill, I told you about her. She's like an event planner extraordinaire.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yes. I've heard all about you, Jan.
Mark Johnson, hello. Thanks so much for chiming in. I've been trying to tell people about this because this woman right here is so absolutely amazing. She's so amazing. She's so amazing, sincerely. There's Perlat. Perlat's from Charlotte. Hello. Yeah, so, again, sorry about this, like, we're like, all like this with each other.
Sisters. Okay.
So, yeah, I guess Facebook Live, I just saw somebody Facebook Live yesterday who was like this. But anyway, Jazz is awesome. Every time I talk to her, I feel like I'm talking to my own personal Oprah. Carl Pitts, yay, thank you so much for chiming in. Hello. So, again, this is the lady I wanted you to meet, and her name is Jazz Jones, J-A-A-Z, just Jazz, as she says. And again, absolutely phenomenal. So from LA, went to University of Texas at Arlington, is that correct?
Yes.
And has just had a plethora of marvelous experiences in her life, and now teaches people all about energy, empowerment. Thank you for sharing, Nicole. Yes. So if you're watching this, please do share. We do have prizes for those who share. Yes. So please be sure to share while you're watching. And again, today we're chatting all about, can you have it all? And then what does it all mean anyway? So we sat down and chatted all about this in Roswell, at the Big Catch in Roswell. If you've ever been there, for those of you in the Atlanta area, it's fantastic and phenomenal. And just had the most marvelous conversation all about it, and wanted to continue that conversation with you. So first, Keisha Mitchell, she's sharing out with her friend Keisha, who's so marvelous. That's another fabulous lady you should meet. There's so many fabulous people on right now.
Well, you're fabulous, so you're just going to be surrounded with fabulous.
I love it.
Yes.
So, okay, so the chat tonight is about, can you have it all? And what does it all mean anyway? And so I'll tell you about how this kind of came about. We were chatting about, that's kind of like our culture right now. All of America is very much in that space where we're saying, to ourselves, we're just kind of made to be in that space where we feel like we should have it all, we deserve it all, and that's the biggest of everything, and the VIP treatment everywhere, and all of this, and especially for entrepreneurs, that we're starting a business so that we can have it all, simply. And so there's that feeling that we could just be it all and do it all and all this and have it all. And so we had a very enlightened conversation, and I want to have an enlightened conversation with you about what that means to sincerely have it all in your life. So I'm going to give the vertical space to Jazz. So we're not happy to share this title space, and allow her to have some opening statements on that subject of, can you have it all in your life, and what does that really mean?
Well, Andrea, first let me just thank you just for the opportunity to share and create a conversation and a dialogue around this subject. And I appreciate your welcoming me to your space. Yeah. And so, can we have it all? My first question would be, before you decide can you have it all, are you willing to be it all? And so often when we look at having it all, we try to have it all at one time. And it's not whether or not we can have it all. We have to decide what is all, what does all mean. So I'm going to give you an analogy. I want you guys to think about like your favorite meal and your favorite dessert and your favorite glass of yumminess, whatever that is.
Okay.
Okay? Now, would you enjoy that more if you could take, so tell me, so I'm going to ask you, what's like, if you could describe, like, what's your favorite meal?
Right now, at this moment, it's a meal at an Italian spot in Smyrna.
Okay.
And it's, oh gosh, what's in that thing? It's sea bass.
Okay.
And it's just so finely, it's just got the lightest crisp edge on it, and it's just so succulent and tasty and always moist and just has such savory flavor. Always guaranteed. It's on a bed of angel hair pasta,
okay,
tossed in with tomatoes, and it's delicious and yummy every time without fail. And I'm going to share that spot with you, and I do not do this with everyone. It's called Miss
I know where I want to go when I leave.
I only said it one time, so if you didn't catch it, you better catch it on the replay, because I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay, so we've got sea bass on a bed of angel hair pasta and some veggies mixed
Delicious,
in.
fabulous.
Okay, and what's your favorite dessert?
Oh gosh, what is my favorite dessert now? Let's call it, at the moment, let's call it tiramisu.
Okay, so tiramisu, and your favorite glass of?
Prosecco.
Okay. So you have sea bass, and you have some tiramisu, and you have Prosecco. Now, when you're eating that sea bass, let me ask you, do you also cram the tiramisu and the Prosecco in your mouth all at the same time?
No.
Ah, because that takes away from the flavor,
yeah,
right?
It's not right.
So I want you to think about that when having it all. If you think about savoring the flavor of the one thing, what's that one thing you want to savor? You want to savor the flavor of that sea bass, right? You want to just take it in and enjoy the flavor and the texture. And then after you complete that, then you want to have a little dessert to top it off, right? And enjoy that. Now you might sip on your Prosecco along the way, right? But the whole idea when it comes to having it all is focus on the one thing. What's the one thing? Andrea hears me talk about this over and over. Because what I do and as a coach and what I teach is a formula. And it's called a success trends formula. And that formula is clear intention plus focused attention equals divine retention. You got to first get clear on what do you want? What is it that you really want? What's the main thing? You know, Stephen Covey once said, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Right.
Okay? So what's your main thing? And putting laser focus on it. So if you could imagine light, because everything is energy, as she said earlier, you know, I talk about energy and sharing energy. So everything is energy. And, you know, so Andrea, we're in this beautifully lit room, right? We have lights hovering over us. And so there's that light that is the spread, it's a spread out light when we think of a fluorescent light, right? It's a hovering light that covers us. But let me tell you, when you want to penetrate steel, you don't use a fluorescent light, you use a laser.
True.
Same energy, right? But with the intensity and the focus, it's so strong it can penetrate steel. And so when you are looking at having it all, when you allow yourself to get really clearly focused on what's my main thing, what's that one thing? I want to point out some successful people.
Okay.
And let's talk about whether or not they have it all, right? Because we get to define what the all is. And so often we get caught up in defining what other people think the all is. So let's start with the most obvious. Let's talk about Oprah. Let's talk about Oprah for a minute, right? Now, Oprah has a successful magazine. She's got her own network, own network, right? She started out with one thing, a talk show. One thing. And she did that one thing so well. She put her attention on that one thing and became phenomenal at that one thing, that one thing overflowed and created the other things. She didn't start a talk show and start a magazine and start a network. She didn't do all that. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this.
Things all at once.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
So right, yeah.
And Oprah also made a choice for her own personal life that she went and started a school. That's the other thing, right? She has a school. So if you look at it, she has her tentacles out. But you know what? She has one central focus. She has a central focus, a central intention about what her commitment is in terms of educating, transforming, right? So out of that one commitment, these other arms spread, and she decided she didn't want to have children. But what she did was she created a school, and she's Mama Oprah, right? Mm-hmm. But that was a choice. So does she have it all?
By everyone's standards, because some people's standards are you're married with kids and la 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 and all that. So,
but if that's not what makes you happy, if that's not your intention, then the all is what is the all for me. And so that being said, I want to speak to some of you mothers out there, right? Okay. The mamas that, the balancing, I'm a mother and I want to have a business and I want to do it all. And I'll use myself as an example. I started my first business at 19. I was an art broker, and then I got married at 20. I was an interior design student, and I remember when I got pregnant, and I was a young mother. So I'm 20 years old, and I'm sitting in the car with my mother, because my mother said, you have choices. So is this what you want? Not is this what happened to you, but is this what you want for yourself? And, and I had tears rolling, and I was like, I'm going to prove to you, I can have it all. I can do it all. I can be the mother. I can be the wife. I can run the business. I can have it all, and I can do it all. My mother, in her wiseness, she just sat back and listened. She's like, okay, go for it. And what I realized is that when you try to do it all at one time, you stretch yourself thin. Something will come up short every time when you try to do it all at one time. So when I was talking about that laser, that doesn't mean that we cannot have children and have a business. But what we have to be really clear about is giving 100% attention, 100% focus to that moment. We have to teach our children, mothers, listen to me. You have to teach your children the importance of the time for you, yourself, so that you can pour into you. Because when you pour into you, you can give to them from your overflow rather than from your reserve. Words of Lisa Nichols. Because so often as mothers, we are running on empty. And we give and give and give and give, and you come up empty, and then it's like, oh, let me put a little time into my dream in the middle of my exhaustion.
Right.
And so it is really about our ability to prioritize and get clear on first the one thing. And with my children, there was a time in their life when they were small, it was like, okay, this is the focus right now. They need my attention. And as they got older, then I was like, okay, now I can branch out. But you got to really be clear about what's the one thing, what's the priority right now, right here, right now. And it doesn't mean that we can't eventually get to the space of expanding. When my grandmother was 78 years old, I called her and I said, hey, Granny, what are you doing? She says, baby, I have to call you back. I'm in the middle of my piano lesson. Something she wanted to do in her life, right, but she picked up later. So don't make your all at one time.
Exactly. Yes, and that's exactly, I wish I could remember, I have to research this lady. There's a lady who spoke to us at Greenville one time at the Athena Symposium that they do with the chamber. No, don't you love that name?
Yes.
And she's all sincerely about names. And so she said, you can have it all, you just can't have it all at once.
Right.
And I think, Jazzy, you have to come over so they can see you. We're all this vertical, making us be vertical today. So in any case, yeah, you can't have it. I love that analogy that you gave earlier about, the best dinner you could ever imagine mixed in with the best dessert you could ever have. and your best drink. Like, you wouldn't put all those things in your mouth all at once because it's horrible, you know. But can you eat them in succession and in time? Yes. And so I love that so much. And I love something else you said about pour from our overflow and not our reserves. And I do think, I mean, I'm not a mother, but my sisters are mothers, and so many women I know who are trying so hard to make it work out here and live their dream, you know, because they have dreams. You know, just because you have kids doesn't mean that your dreams die, you know, although it might feel like that. And I think that moms do feel like they're running on empty and their dreams get the very last. And, you know, when it's so nice to be in a space where you can give your dream your best energy and your best focus. We talked about this one time with David Patterson when we were talking about that book, The One Thing, which is so in line with everything that jazz is about and teaches and talks about. Oh, Natasha says, yes, Lisa Nichols. We got a Lisa Nichols fan out there.
Yes.
So, hey, Nita and Carl. We're just stopping to say hello to some of you who showed up. Thanks so much for chiming in. Don't forget to share this because we do have prizes and they're lovely. They're lovely. So, again, here with Jazz Jones with Mad Miracles. You can find them at madmiracles.com and also here on Facebook, Mad Miracles fan page, on Instagram and Twitter, Mad Miracles. Just search for that. And it's a fabulous acronym, by the way, for so many things I'm finding out. But it's a mother-daughter team, and I know Genia's on right now. Genia's her daughter. If you're on, say hello.
Oh, it's
I saw
my
her
daughter
earlier.
on there. Hello, my beautiful daughter, Jania.
They're so fabulous.
She's the D in the MAD. Without her, it would just be Ma.
Mother and daughter. So, yes, so MAD stands for mother and daughter, but it also stands for magnificent and
magnificent
divine.
And divine. You know, we have termed the phrase magnificent, and it's that combination. And the whole idea around it is, you know, MAD stands for so many different things, and it's a small word that has such a varied meaning. It can mean, you know, I am angry and upset. I'm just really, you know. Or it can mean that, you know, I am wildly excited. It can mean I'm crazy. You know, it can mean all of the above. And so we ask you to find your MAD. What is your MAD? And we have a string of words for, but magnificent and divine is the magnificent that was born out of that. But marvelous and delightful, you know,
I know, it's just full of these fabulous acronyms. It's so fun. But when they talk about Mad Miracles, you know, you have to know the story behind that in their life. I don't know if we have time to share it. Golly, are we already? You know what? But we did start late.
To the summit and find the story.
Yes. So, simple little plug for those of you in the Atlanta area. This is only for the ladies this time, but guys, pay attention anyway, because there will be things that are open for guys as well. But this time is only for the ladies. On Labor Day weekend, there's a special summit that they're having here in Atlanta at the La Meridian Hotel in the perimeter area. It's called the Mad Metamorphosis Summit. And my sister was just here with us, you know, Sunday. We had this brunch with some of the ladies who are really involved with this team, which Mad Miracles is an entire team effort. And in any case, we were having a wonderful brunch, and you know, the summit is called Mad Metamorphosis Summit. My sister was like, I don't need no metamorphosis. I'm good. I'm great how I am. Honey, I'm good. I love myself. I love myself. You know, and we want you to love yourself.
Yes.
But one thing she learned, and Nicole will you know, I don't want to say testify to this, but she would exactly acknowledge it. She learned by being there in that experience that there's so much more in her. And I know this about my sister because she's already so talented at so many things. Yes, I gave you a compliment on here. She's already so talented at so many things, but she's learning and discovering as she's changing and having this transition in her career life and stepping up in the ladder, you know, in her own career. She's discovering new things about herself that she didn't know was there, you know, talents inside of herself that she didn't realize was there, you know. So when we talk about what a mad metamorphosis is, you know, it's really about those transitions in your life and taking yourself to that next level. What does that mean? In a truly meaningful way, you know. So, oh, okay.
Oh, and there's my daughter Aisha. Hello, beautiful Aisha.
Ray of sunshine. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yay. I love you. I love you. Aisha, that's my other daughter. That's my daughter in San Diego. And Aisha is making our fabulous bracelets for our ladies, the and the butterfly pendants. She is a jeweler. She always charms, and so yeah, fabulous. So
that's
love
Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
Hi Aisha, thanks so much for chiming in. So that summit, the Mad Metamorphosis Summit, it's a 3-day weekend thing, and it ends with this beautiful butterfly ceremony release thing. It's going to be so fantastic. Like, I can't wait to see it. You know, there's so many fun things. So I'm not gonna bore you with all the details. I want you to go to the website and look at it. It's madmiracles.com. So that's for the ladies, Labor Day weekend. I know you're not doing anything Labor Day weekend yet. You never even thought that far. So
come on in. Just come on and join us. But everybody can join Miracle Minded Monday. That's every
Miracle Minded Mondays. So they go live every Monday on her own page, Jazz Jones, and also Terrence Johnson. Hello. He is fabulousness walking. Oh my goodness.
Okay, fabulousness walking. Come meet fabulousness talking. We'll get together.
He's literally Magic Johnson's height with a very white voice, and is just phenomenal. The two of you would be so phenomenal on the show together.
Love it. Love
Aisha
it.
says, "I'm so glad that I caught you, ladies." Yay!
Yes,
so
we are
you
too.
On.
Yes, welcome, welcome.
We're so glad you came on. Art Frazier, hello. So again, you know, can you have it all? You know, we'll tell you how to get back to that summit later. For those of you who can be in the Atlanta area, ladies, guys, you can join the other stuff as well later.
Do you want it all, though?
Yeah, do you want it all?
That's really the question. Not can you have it all, but do you really want it all? Like when we make the list, you know, I'm going to ask everybody, you know, if you think about everything that you want in your life, and this is the self-exam. Like, what do you want? Not what did mom and daddy say you should have. Not what your teacher said. Exactly. Absolutely. But what is it that you really want for yourself? And, you know, I'm so not excluding the men, but, you know, I want to speak to the ladies in that there are some women who believe they're obligated to be a mother, and you're not. You know, some of my dearest friends have had fabulous careers and no children, and they have a full life, but it's a choice, right? And just like my daughter, who is a fabulous mother. You know, Aisha has 3 beautiful kids. She loves being a mom, and it's a choice. And she's also creating a business, but it's a choice. And so let's not get in a tug of war judging, you know, well, you're not all that because you don't have kids, or you're not all that because you're not really working, you're not doing a business that, you know, all, you know, success is not defined by other people's interpretation. Our success is defined by our own personal gratitude. So before you think about having it all, are you happy with what you have? Because if you aren't happy where you are and what you have, it doesn't matter what you want. Because you can keep wanting and wanting and wanting and going and getting and getting and getting.
It's true.
And you end up empty.
Yeah.
Think about success.
And nothing's ever enough.
It's
nothing's
never
ever
enough.
Yeah.
Yes. That's because if you think about, quote, successful people that appear to have it all, and they jump off buildings, they drink themselves to death.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know if any of you heard, you know, Demi Lovato is in the hospital from a heroin overdose that just happened today. She's 24 years old. 24-year-old young woman who appears to have it all. And so when you think about that, why is she self-destructing? And that self-destruction comes from the lack of self-love and self-introspection, not about the demands of the outside, but to the commitment on the inside. And so I just want to share this sense of order with you all, because this has really been on my mind when we were talking about it, and it's something that I often talk about in our coaching and training, that we are conditioned to have our development out of order. Because I love this. Can we have it all, right? We focus on what we can have. If I get a great job and, you know, the perfect career, and then I go get the perfect man or woman, and then I get the great house and the great car, if I have it all, then I can do it all. Then I can do all of the things I want to do, and then I'll be happy.
And then I'll be happy.
Right. No, 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 no. You have it out of order, because you can do it, and then you can have it and be miserable. Right? But if you start out with, what do you want to be? Were you asked? I'm sure you were. We were all asked when we were kids, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
Anybody ever asked you that? And what'd you say?
Oh gosh, you're gonna hate this answer, but
no.
So I didn't know I wanted it, and I didn't know how to describe it. I just said, I'm going to be a professional woman, and I'm going to be surrounded by beautiful things, and my office is going to be gorgeous and all that. But I had no idea what that was. Like, what does that look like? No idea.
But you spoke to an experience, right? An experience that you wanted to create. And for the most part, it's our misinformation with our children, right? Because so many kids are, I want to be a rap star, I want to be a ball player, they think about what they want to do rather than what they want to be. And I remember being asked that question when I was 6 years old.
What did you say?
And I said, I want to be happy.
Oh, at 6?
At 6.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be happy. Because at that time, there were so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to dance, and there were a lot of things. But that came through the experience of my mom's nervous breakdown. And I saw I just wanted my mom to be happy. I wanted to be happy. And that's what I put that's my intention, is to be loved, right? And so, let me tell you, if you focus your attention on your beingness, if you be that, you'll be guided on what to do. And that is having it all. If you can wake up every morning with peace of mind, with some joy, and with some happiness, I'm a living testament to that. That whatever you want to do in your life, it'll show up. It'll show up, because when you operate in that space of what you want to be, you're going to attract. You're going to attract the right people. You're going to attract the right opportunities. But if you are in a space of fear, if you are in a space of lack, if you have a lack mentality, if you have an energy of doubt, if you have an energy of shame, then no matter what you get, you are always going to be in that space. That's why you can hear people that have so much and feel so little.
Right, exactly. And again, to the point that, you can literally have everything your heart ever desired. You could work hard enough to be a little millionaire and, a couple $100 million in your bank account, and have access to everything in the world, and have your own private yachts and blah, blah, everything material you ever wanted, and still feel like it's not enough, and you have to just have more. And so again, to your point, defining what it all means to us and why that is, why it all is to us, why we think these things are so important. I think that matters so much to define for ourselves. Otherwise, we're just chasing what we think we should chase based on what society tells us we should have, in order to be successful. It looks like this. I think you're quite smart and right to say we need to define for ourselves what truly actually makes us happy. And I think at the core of that, that's using our gifts to help others and serve others in the world, in our own unique way, in the way that we were created to do. I think if we can tie that giving back to the core of us, I think that gives us meaning.
Exactly.
And I think that gives us that feeling of fulfillment that we're often looking for, but we miss in, these jobs we take to pay bills and all those things that don't really actually fulfill us and sustain us. I think that's part of the issue a lot of people have, and so therefore we go on this chase, this rabbit hole chase, and people get depressed by social media, because they're looking and seeing everyone posing in front of their car.
Oh, and they have it all.
Yes, they have it all. Yes, or their latest trip wherever they went, and or whatever they,
Right.
latest Gucci bag. Oh, that's so Gucci, whatever that they just got. And oh, look at Adrian says this is right on time. Hey, Adrian. So I think people do think that if they have what they think social media or the world or otherwise tells us we should have to look successful, look like the picture of success, then we'll be happy. And that's obviously not true. But people do get depressed anyway, looking at constantly all day all this stuff that they feel needs to be in their life. And again, to your point about the lack mentality, they're thinking to themselves, well, crap, I don't have that yet, and I gotta put that on my list. It's
right.
The next thing I gotta get in order to be happy like they look, which is not true.
Mm-hmm. The famous director, movie maker Oscar Wilde once said, "I got it all." He said, "Once I got it all, I realized I didn't want it." And there are a series of stories. If you listen to those who we view as success, Jim Carrey once said, was speaking to the fact that the most important thing to have is yourself, your own personal truth, right? And having it all is not based on what we get. It is really on what we give. When we give of our gifts, that becomes the fulfilling reward, because when we give of our gifts, we are always going to get back. It's always going to pour back to us. So I would surmise it by saying, rather than focusing on can I have it all, can I give it my all? Because if I give it, whatever your it is, giving it all is always going to leave you in a space of abundance, because giving it comes from an abundant mentality. Getting comes from a lack. If I got to go get more, that means I'm lacking. So I'm always seeking to get. But if I'm always focusing on what can I give to, when I am giving, I'm giving from that place, again, of the overflow. I am giving to, so that means I've already got. Mm-hmm. And it just becomes the reciprocity of what comes back to us. Exactly. So that would be what I would want to leave you with, is to think about not what is it that you can go get and have, but what are you here to give? When we figure that out, when we get clear on what is it that I am ultimately here to give, you will never be in lack. You will always be in abundance, because when you continually give, you continually receive.
Exactly. So beautiful. And I just want to share one last thing, and then we'll close this out, because we could go.
I know we said we could just go.
We could just be here all evening talking to you all. And again, you guys share your thoughts, questions, anything you have with us. Feel free. But one of the things, and this is going to be, I'm just sharing a little flavor of what that summit we mentioned is going to be like, the Metamorphosis Summit. So I went to a brunch that Jazz had called Miracle Minded. Is it Miracle Minded?
Yeah,
Brunch?
Miracle Minded Brunch.
Probably a couple Sundays back. It's always on a Sunday, and there's this exercise that I thought was so intriguing. Can I share this exercise? It was a thing where you press your hands together and don't share it.
No, you can share what you experienced from the exercise, but I don't want her to give it away, because you know what, you guys are going to get to experience it, so I don't want you to know what to expect. But what did you get out of the exercise?
So good. What I got out of it, so I can't share it. I can't share what it is. So just know it's so phenomenal. What I got out of it is that the power of your thinking, essentially, and that
shows up in your physical body.
Yes,
that's what it was. Yes, you could share that. Yes.
It shows up in literally shows up in your physical body. I just was listening to Deepak Chopra. Do you say
yes,
Chopra?
Deepak Chopra.
Thank you, Chopra.
Yes.
At this awesome thing, Chase for Biz had this wonderful conference, Chase for Business, for small business. And many of you guys saw that picture with Damon John and all of this. Deepak Chopra also showed, he retweeted one of my things, which is so awesome. And he was chatting all about the same topic too. And it's all about how we can literally, he was saying, you can literally heal yourself with the power of your thoughts, because it's so powerful. You can actually cause healing in your body just by the way you're thinking. And completely, he said 99%, 95 to 99% of illnesses, including cancer and other things, are literally caused by stress. And we know one of our number one stressors is finance. And so many Americans and otherwise are under that financial stress and such. And it literally can cause cancer and other illnesses in our body because we're stressed so much it's showing up in our body. So anyway, this exercise is just, I can't tell you what it is. I want you to come to the summit so you can like experience some of this yourself. But it just shows that this wonderful positive energy is far stronger than the negative thinking in our head that makes us weak and so physically. So
it's about really learning to use your mind as a tool. Recognize that it's a tool, right? And so I want to say this last thing, and then I'll shut up.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Because you brought up this exercise, and this is really what the teaching of Mad Miracles is about, and when we teach about miracle-mindedness. And understand that our mind is one of two things. It's a booby trap or it's a gateway. You get to determine what it is. That's why we use the term mad. You know, are you going to be mad and angry? Or are you going to be mad and open and excited to the experience, right? So are you using your mind as a booby trap to set you up for stinking thinking and keep you trapped in limited beliefs? Or are you using your mind as a gateway to open you up? And as your sister Nicole shared, I want to discover more about myself. And let me tell you, if you have reached a point in your life where you say, I know all that I need to know and I've got it all, guess what? You have just shut yourself off from the personal growth and all of the magic and the possibilities that's within you. You know, we don't grow old because we stop learning. We don't stop learning because we grow old. We grow old because we stop learning.
Right.
And so keep learning, keep growing, keep being curious.
Exactly. Yes. And so I love this so much. We could go on forever. And I just
We'll have to do a part 2 on Miracle Minded Monday.
Yes. That'd be so great. I love that, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs and also those of you who are working so hard in your careers, building up your careers. That power of positive thinking in your life and really focusing on what's actually important. Going back again to the One Thing, we talked about this before with David Patterson, the One Thing book. All of this is in alignment along the same lines. Carl Pitt says, I love learning. Yes, I know you do. You know, so if you're an entrepreneur, and otherwise if you're in your career, this stuff is real. How you perceive it, the law of attraction is real. In your business, on your job, wherever you are, wherever you're operating, functioning, and even that power of giving your gifts, you know, and operating in that can mean worlds of a difference in your life. So that's what
Strategic thinking. You gotta be strategic. Yeah.
That's all we got. So, of course, we have more, but.
Yes.
Again, just
to be continued.
Shameless plug for Jazz's Summit coming up. Again, you can follow her at Mad Miracles fan page on Facebook or Mad Miracles on Instagram, Twitter. And they have a summit coming up Labor Day weekend. It is for the ladies, but go check that out at madmiracles.com. It is phenomenal. And thank you so much for showing up. If you share this broadcast, we will be giving away some prizes. My personal prize is a deposit to the summit, which is worth $97 right now through August 1st.
Ooh.
So ladies, if you're in the area you want to come, share this and you can have your deposit paid for free. So I want you to be there. It's awesome. Natasha's like, fabulous. Okay, so Jazz, any last closing words before we leave?
You know, I know I've talked a lot. But I will say this, I will say this in closing. I just want to close out, again, repeating something I shared earlier, which is the trans formula. Clear intention, just decide, what do you want? And then be willing to put focused attention on it, and then watch the divine retention unfold. It is really all about, the power lies within you, your focused attention, and know that you already have it. Everything you need is already inside. It's your willingness to remove the blocks and let it come through. So thank you for letting me hang out with you. This was awesome. She's the best. Yeah,
She's
up
the best.
close and personal was great. Yes.
Yes, you know, we're like right here. So.
Well, we found out we were almost twins anyway, right?
I know. Her, yes.
March 23rd,
My
March 24th.
birthday's March 23rd, and she's March 24th.
So, yeah. So we set it on fire. You know, it says two Aries here going at it.
Two Aries.
Yes.
All right, and thank you all again for showing up. Adrian, Natasha, Carl, Davida, Nicole, Juanita, everybody who showed up today. Thank you so
Aisha,
much.
Jania, we love you.
Terrence, yes, Jania, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Do share this. You have until Friday to share, and we're going to pick someone and announce the winners. And there might be some extra bonus prizes we'll throw in. So share away, and thank you. Mwah. See you next time.
Ciao.